Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to the Patriotic IAS, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So before starting the session, I have again the feedback. It is good that I am getting feedback. You all are watching these videos with so much sincerity. So the one feedback is that many of you are asking for the some PDF or the some material. So actually we will provide the material only in the case where that is at most necessary. Otherwise, we will try to minimize the resources and maximize the repetition of the same resources, same concept. So as per the UPSC demands, it doesn't ask for the read from the 10 books. But what UPSC asks as per its trend and its pattern that you need to read same books multiple times instead of reading or studying lot of book on same concept. So whenever in the UPSC examination hall, when you are sitting and reading the question and there are a lot of statement, if you don't have the conceptual clarity, you will not able to attempt in an accurate manner. So yes, whenever you will be reading in the that examination hall, if you have gone for the same concept for the 10 times from the same books, you will be more clear, you will be less confused. So as per that, we will try to cover most of the things from the Hindu. This will be our main material. The second material will be the basics books like the NCRT. So you need to refer the NCRT and other basic books like the Bipin Chandra for the history or the Lakshmikant part for the polity. You have to refer this book. These are the basic books, and this in interlinkage with the Hindu. If still I find that the material is not a particular concept or particular area is not covered under this basics books and the Hindu, then certainly we will provide you with the extra handout and material. But main purpose of this platform is to minimize the confusion of a student. Okay, so let's start. Again, you have to always consider those 7 topics that you have to follow, you have to explore from the Hindu. The first topic that we are going to take from the first page, this is related to the economy. So particularly GS paper 3. This particularly news is talking about the India's GDP estimated to grow by 7.3% as per the NSO data. So first thing we need to know is about that this India GDP has been predicted around 7%. So area that we should focus. This has mentioned NSO. So we need to know about the NSO. What is the NSO? NSO is basically associated with the Ministry of Statistics and the program implementation. Okay, so otherwise you can get confused that whether if UPSC gives 4 options like the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce and Trade, so you shouldn't consider, you shouldn't confuse. This is the Ministry of Statistics and program implementation. You should be clear. The most important thing that we can learn from this particular article is the GDP and GVA. So you should know what is the GDP and what is the GVA. Anyone of you, do you know what is the definition of GDP? Yes, GDP is the money value of all the final goods and services, produced in a domestic economy in a financial year. So this is money value. Money value of what? All the goods and services produced. And financial year will be defined financial will be there. So during the calculation of this all the money value, we use the gross value added. You add gross value that is added in the each of the sector of the economy. It means that there are so many sectors in a country. It is not the isolation that we have just one sector. We have a lot of sector. Like we could have the steel sector. We could have we have the textile sector, mining sector, energy production, power sector. Okay, lot of areas that where the gross value is calculated. So what is the gross value? Take a very simple example. What is the gross value added? What is the gross value added? Think that in economy there is the two manufacturers. One is particularly the bread makers and other is that like a farmer who is producing, who is not manufacturing but producing from the field. He used no input, means he has his own seeds, his own labor, and everything that he is done by himself. He is not buying anything from the market, and he produced 200 rupees of the wheat. वीट का जो फाइनल प्रोडक्शन हुआ बाय द फार्मर्स वो 200 रुपए का था. एंड आफ्टर दैट देयर इज ए मैन्युफैक्चरर हु मैन्युफैक्चर्ड द ब्रेड दैट वी टेक इन आवर ब्रेकफास्ट. सो ये आया और इसने 100 रुपए का वीट खरीद लिया और 100 रुपए इन्होंने अपने पास रख लिया. 100 रुपए मीन्स मानिए अगर टू आउट ऑफ 200 रुपीज इट इज द 100 kg. तो 5 kg it's farmer keeps with it so that they can consume, they can sustain, and 5 kg sell to the manufacturer. अब ये मैन्युफैक्चरर ने लिया और इसने ब्रेड बनाया और उस ब्रेड का इन्होंने सोचा कि मैं अब 100 रुपए में इसको बेचूंगा. ओके, सो वैल्यू एडेड बाय दिस फार्मर्स, इन्होंने कुछ किसी से नहीं लिया तो 200 रुपए का ऐड किया. ये मैन्युफैक्चरर ने कितना ऐड किया? ऐसे देखे तो 1000 दिखेगा, बट 100 रुपए तो दिया भी तो है इनपुट, तो यू हैव टू रिड्यूस. तो यहाँ वैल्यू जो एडिशन है 1000 माइनस 100 जो इन्होंने इसको बाय किया है ना, दैट यू हैव टू रिड्यूस 900 का प्रोडक्शन हुआ. अगर इकोनॉमी में सिर्फ ये माना जाए तो जो जीडीपी होगा वो 900 होगा. नहीं, ये वैल्यू एडिशन है. दिस इज द वैल्यू एडिशन. जीडीपी का क्या हमने डिफाइन किया था? मनी वैल्यू. मनी वैल्यू का तब आएगा जब ये अपना ब्रेड लेके मार्केट में चले गए, यहाँ पे आके बोला कि हमें अब बेचना है. When he will enter into the market, there will be a taxation and the subsidy. गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लगाती है एंड आफ्टर दैट कुछ सब्सिडी भी देती है, जैसे जीएसटी आईएसटी टैक्स हो गया. सब्सिडी देती है कि आप छोटे, यू आर द स्मॉल और द मीडियम इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, so you will get some subsidy so that you can produce more and more और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा employment you can generate. Okay, तो यहाँ पे जो इन्होंने सोचा कि 1000 में मेरा है तो यहाँ पे टैक्स भी तो लग जाएगा. जस्ट एज्यूम दैट 50 रुपीज टैक्सेशन लगा और गवर्नमेंट 20 रुपीज की सब्सिडी देती है. तो जो कंज्यूमर बाई करेगा फाइनल प्रोडक्ट का मनी वैल्यू जो फाइनल होगा वो कितना होगा? 1030 रुपए, 1030 rupees. So the total GDP, now the simple GDP, what will be the GDP here? As we said that the money value, so this is the money value here, this is the money value here. The farmer sell to the manufacturer, so money value will be 100 plus 1030, so it will be 11,030. Money value of all the goods produced, so this will be GDP. And what will be the GVA? This is the value added. So here the value added is 200 and here the value added is 900. So GVA, gross value added, will be 200 plus 900 will be 1100. Okay, so what is the difference between GVA and GDP? Here we are including adding the tax and subsidy. So GDP is equal to GVA plus tax and minus subsidy. So this will be the difference between GVA and GDP. GVA is used to calculate the GDP. I hope now everything is clear. So we have studied this GDP, GVA. Okay. What is the difference between the nominal GDP and the real GDP? Here it has mentioned the nominal GDP. So you should be careful about whatever the Hindu is giving. What is the real GDP and what is the nominal GDP? Nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is the GDP that is calculated as the total, the money value calculated at the current price. Now, if I want to calculate the nominal GDP, I will calculate the production in this year's total product, goods and services at the current price. For example, if this price is cost 100 rupees today, and think that in a economy total only paints are produced. To make it simple, there are a lot of things that we will make the summation, we will include everything, but to simplify, just think that only paints have been produced in this economy and the total 10 paints have been produced. So the nominal GDP of my economy will 1000. This will be nominal GDP. Okay. GDP is always compared. Okay. So when you compare that, what is the growth of GDP from the previous year, from the 2016, 2018, 2022. So this will be the percentage growth rate. So real GDP will be the actual change in the production. Okay. Think that in 2018, this is for the 2024 price level and the GDP. The price of this pen was 50 rupees. And at that particular year, 15 pens were produced. So what will be the value of GDP? In 2018, despite we produce 15 pens, the GDP was 750. In 2024, despite we produce only 10 pen, but due to the increase in price of this pen, the GDP will be 1000. So due to the inflation, change in the price 50 to 100, there is the increase in GDP. But in reality, the GDP has been, the total production, gross production has been reduced from 15 to 10. So nominal GDP doesn't give a real picture. So what we do, in real GDP, we fix the price of this pen with the base year. Base year could be 2080 or whatever the years we want to compare. We just fix the rate, the price with that particular year. So if I will fix the price of this year, so what will be the GDP of 2024? 500. So the real GDP is 500, the nominal GDP is the 1000. So due to the increase in the price, the GDP change, that is the particularly called inflation. So whenever we reduce the inflation, we get the real GDP. Nominal GDP is the GDP with respect to the current price. Real GDP is the GDP with respect to the some fixed base year, some fixed price. Okay, so always we do the base year. We will study this in a comprehensive manner. Just I wanted to make it clear that what is the nominal GDP? The nominal GDP is the GDP at the present price, current price. Whenever we calculate the real GDP, we will fix some particular year, then we compare. So in the reality, if I ask that GDP growth rate is growing or not, so if real GDP is less than the nominal GDP, if inflation is there, so it helps in comparison in the growth of GDP. So that's why we always try to make a base year. So I hope this is clear. Nominal GDP is the current price when you calculate the GDP. The real GDP you calculate with respect to the price fixed into the base year. Base year is chosen as the particularly after seeing that whether there has been the disturbance, stability in the economy. Shocks are not there, such as the monsoon impact or the international economic crisis are absent. Then we go for the base year. Other concept that is also we can go. What is the fiscal deficit? So fiscal deficit. What is the fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is the difference between government earning, that is known as the government receipts, and the government expenditure. So like we earn and we spend, like my salary could be the my earning for this month, and expenditure will be my and if I will reduce from my expenditure and from the my earning, it will give the deficit. So government also earn, get the receipt from the different sources like the taxation, can impose the penalty, fee, different thing like the penalty on the traffic signals. Also government has companies like the BSNL and other areas. Government has the undertakings who produce, so they also earn. So these are the earnings. Expenditure, where the expenditures take place. Expenditure like the creating schools, hospitals, roads, sewage, and other such facility government spend. So this deficit, fiscal deficit, is the difference between what expenditure minus receipt. Receipts. Okay. So this is the fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is the difference between earning and expenditure. This fiscal deficit doesn't include the borrowings. Means borrowing is taken after when we have to pay the fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is equal to the borrowings. For example, if I am earning the thing and I am only doing spending money, so I will have to borrow to sustain, to pay this spending. So borrowings will be not as included in this, the difference between receipts and expenditure. In the receipts, borrowing will be not included. I hope this is clear. The one more thing you should know, purchasing manager index. What is the purchasing manager index? Purchasing manager index is the survey. This is not the exact production, calculation of the production. This is the particularly survey done from the companies and business industries, and we try to know the perception of the economy, and after that we produce the index in the goods sector separately and services sector separately. So it's also give the mood of the economy. This is done with this article. We have done covered in a very comprehensive manner. This news is particularly with respect to the Arabian Sea. Continuously, Arabian Sea is in the news because previously we saw the Houthi attack in the Arabian Sea. Particularly, they belong from the Yemen. They are the jihadi Shias. Again and again, we are going through, so we can memorize by natural way. This time the attack is not in the Houthis area or by the Houthis, it is by the Somalian pirates, Samundri Lutere. So they have attacked this particular ship. This was the merchant ship, and it was the bulk carrier. They were for the transporting some goods, and it was done at the Somalian coast, the cities or the coast of the Ill. Okay, and it was rescued by the INS Chennai. So you can use in the international relation that India has become the net security provider in the or the Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and the Bay of Bengal. So you can use this further point and you can give example of this risk operation we save, and you should know INS Chennai. What is the INS Chennai? It is the Kolkata class. It is stealth guided missile destroyer. So it has a high class of the technology, and they are particularly provided to face any ballistic missile attack or the any missile attack. So they are the capable of doing, and stealth means they are capable to actually they are not able to easily detectable, so they can provide security in a better manner because they have lot of this sensors and other features that helps. Just you need to know INS Chennai. It is the Kolkata class stealth guided missile destroyer. And what is the Kolkata class? It is like a project. Under that we have made the three stealth guided missile. Two other Kolkata class ships are this INS Kolkata itself and INS Kochi. Okay, so these are the thing you need to know. Other thing, one more thing you can do, you can just observe the area. This is the Somalia. The attack has been taken place in this coastal area, and this particularly you should observe that what are the areas surrounding the Somalia. So Kenya is in the southern side, southwest. In the western side, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is landlocked country. This is Somalia is surrounding here. Djibouti has surrounded here, and this Eritrea has surrounded. It's here, so it is landlocked. Many a times you think that it is at the Horn of Africa, so it touch the boundary with the water body, but it doesn't touch with the boundary with the water body. One more thing you should already we are visiting a lot of time this area West Asia again. This is the West Asia, and yeah, this was the Bab al Mandab in the Red Sea, and it's join the Gulf of Aden, connect and separate this Arabian plateau with the Horn of Africa. Okay. One thing also we are observing this Strait of Hormuz. This is Strait of Hormuz. You should be careful about this. It connects Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman. Oman is here. Yemen is here. That's all with respect to this news. This news is not that much relevant. This is the political news, but we can use just for the GS paper 2, like the as per this observation of the High Court that this particularly chief minister and other ministers they should follow, they should respect the constitutional morality. So here is that the High Court has observed that there should be political compulsion cannot outweigh the clean and good governance and constitutional morality. So this is important because UPSC has asked the question on the constitutional morality, and it was, I think, in the question was asked in 2021 that constitutional morality is rooted in the constitution itself and is found on its essential facet. Explain the doctrine of constitutional morality with the help of relevant judicial decision. So this observation, if you will bring in your answer that the High Court observation with respect to the minister allegation against the minister in the Tamil Nadu, what is the meaning of this constitutional morality? This means that the reverence for the constitutional value and its ideology, whatever constitution is contain its a value. So respect for that is known as the, and reverence for that is known as the constitutional morality. This has become very important after the Sabrimala case. This is not relevant. This is just a news of the attack on the ED team raided a Trimool leader, the one thing that comes to my mind here, North 24 Pargana district. So whenever this things comes, it is related to the history. Do you remember? This is associated with very significant point of the time in the history. Particularly, if you recall the Battle of the Plassey. In the Battle of the Plassey, after the defeat of Sirajuddaula, the Nawab of the Bengal, it was the Mir Jafar that was made the Nawab. British choose Mir Jafar because Mir Jafar was Mir Jafar changed its side from the Sirajuddaula to the British, and that's why that was the main cause to the defeat of the Sirajuddaula. So after that, in the reward, Mir Jafar gave this 24 Parganas to the Jamidari of this 24 Parganas to the British, and this decision, this shift Jamidari to the 24 Parganas laid the foundation for the British rule in India. So this is very important point. You should remember. You should use. You should. This is the way you should prepare UPSC. DG Yatra, this is important with respect to the, because one of the passengers objected that this is violation of privacy, particularly by this DG Yatra program. What is the particularly? This will be like the, it will be like the facial recognition and collection of the data and the digital processing of the passenger information. So whenever you go at the entry gate of the airport, there is the checkup. After that, you again go to submit your baggages. You go for the security checking. So all that places you have to go through the security checking, clearance after the showing your tickets, your informations. So by this, the processing will be a bit faster. It will take less time. So these are the things. It will promote the paperless and seamless movement to the airport. But the thing is that, as we know that always there is a trick to take your consent. In the last, at this form, in the last they are asking for the, are you accepting this? Are you accepting this DG Yatra enrollment? And in the rush, in the hurry of entering and catching your aeroplane, you many a times you tick without reading the lines. So that's why this is not informed consent. So this is particularly criticized on this ground. So after the Puttaswamy case, the right to privacy has become so much in the limelight. So you should remember this. Just you need to remember DG Yatra is associated with the digital processing of passengers. That is the just UPSC can ask that DG Yatra is associated with what? One more thing that is, this is news, also this news is not relevant, that MHA ordered to probe into the spurious drug case, particularly order into the some of the medicines that has been found into the hospitals and clinics run by the Delhi government. They are not that much up to the standard. So whenever you have to write something about this health sector and some of the issue that Indian health sector is facing, there's some standard level of the medicines. So you can give one example. Just a further point. Yes. This is very important. It gives the idea about the ancient history, and it's cover your syllabus of ancient history, and many times ancient history. It is not exact part of the GS paper 1 mines, but it comes in under the art and culture as well. So you should know because the name of this particularly is the Madrasian culture, this Paleolithic era. So Paleolithic period. First of all, we should know that we have find a tool, this Paleolithic tool in the Mulugu district of the Telangana. Okay, so that's why it was in the news. So Paleolithic is a period of prehistory where we don't know about the historical fact, but we have find some of the tools. Under that we study the dates and what could have been the nature. So this has brought the period of the Paleolithic period. Paleolithic period now it is the 30 lakh years ago to the 10,000 years ago. Okay. So the period is, let me write here. What is the period? What is the period of this 30 lakh? 30 lakh year ago. 30 lakh year. And till the 10,000 to the 10,000. Okay, this is the time period. And even this Paleolithic period has been divided into the three part. Those are known as the upper Paleolithic period, middle Paleolithic period and the lower Paleolithic period. So let me write the period. The historical period is the first is the lower Paleolithic period, lower Paleolithic period, and the date for it is the 30 lakh year ago, 30 lakh year ago to 1 lakh year ago. Don't confuse with the year ago or the BC. They are more or less there is a difference of the 2000 years, particularly when the Christ was born. So there is no that much difference. Now only we are after the Christ. It is the 2023. So that you have to add up in the BC whenever BC comes. Second period is the middle Paleolithic. Middle. This is the Paleolithic period. Okay, Paleolithic period, and this will be the 1 lakh year ago to 40,000 year ago. 40,000 this is. Okay. And last one, third is the upper, the recent one. Paleolithic period, and it is from the 40,000 year ago to 10,000 year ago. Year ago. Okay. So this is the time period of the Paleolithic period. You should know about this. Further, it is telling that the Paleolithic mainly based on the hunting and gathering, and these quartzites and the large tools, those are the stones. They are like the similar hand axe that have the discovered worldwide. This hand axe has been discovered worldwide, and tool was used to cutting woods and the killing for the food, killing animals for the food. And this, in the last, it has mentioned that in 1963, the East India Company Geological Survey team, they found the first tools, first stone, and it is in the Atirampakam. This is also known as this name of this place is also Pallavaram. This is also near to the Pallavaram. Where I should write? Pallavaram. And this is why this particular culture, Paleolithic culture, is also known as the Madras hand axe industry and the Madrasian culture. So this is the tool. This looks like that. I will show you that there were other tools like the hand axe was hand axes, as well as there were they use the cleavers, they use the choppers. So you must be confused that how these must have been looking. So just let me show you. So they looks like that. Choppers looks like that, hand axe and cleavers. So this is the tools mainly used. How they prepared. This is the first, how they broke, how they sharpen, and this is the final product. Okay. In the middle Paleolithic, they made the flag. This is the flag. This is the tool that is used it is known as the FLAK, F-L-A-K-E, FLAK. This is the tool that they use. And letters in the upper upper is a Paleolithic age. They use the buddings like the in Hindi that is known as the khuruchani. They were more sophisticated, more thin, tiny. Humans species evolution in Paleolithic era. It is from the lower Paleolithic era. It is the Homo erectus, then Homo sapiens, and after that in the recent, the upper Paleolithic, it is the Homo sapiens sapiens. So you can see how the evolution take place. Now we are at this stage, Homo sapiens. So this is the evolution. Neanderthals were in the middle, Homo erectus. Before that, we were ape to the Homo habilis. So this is, you should know, these are the important things you should know, and that's why this makes important article. I covered it. This is just you can use in a as a fodder point, just as the in the Karnataka they are going to use millet to be into the midday meal. So it is good step. You can give example that Karnataka has added, and that's why this is this should be uh, this should be implemented in other states as well. Now we come to the editorial, and yes, this is the editorial coverage, and this is particularly with respect to the survey. We have already covered this survey. Under this, it has been mentioned that how the use of antibiotics, particularly misused and means used without a proper diagnosis by the doctors as well. The prescription given by doctors, that is causing a lot of antimicrobial resistance, and that's why causing a health hazard in the present as well as it is a huge health hazard for the future. So this was particularly, you should know that it is done by the National Center for the Disease Control that comes under the Health Ministry, and particularly it is done by the NSC net sites at the net sites, and the name is the first multicentric point prevalence survey for the antibiotic use, and the data that has been, the facts that has been found is like that only 45% were the prescribed and to actually treat infection, otherwise they were for the prevention. Without the actual disease occurred, they gave this. And this is very much interesting. Only 6% antibiotics prescribed after the proper diagnosis. That does, yes, the person is in the particularly need of the antibiotics. Otherwise, they have just given without the prescription. Test भी नहीं लिखा, उसके पहले ही they have prescribed this antibiotics. Test बाद में आया, बाद में पता चला there was no need, but they have given. This is the condition. So what is the main cause of this unsound medical and animal husbandry practice? In animal husbandry, to increase the weight of the animals like the chickens and other animals, they are giving antibiotics instead of the growth rate of the animals has also been increased by this. So this is creating by this this is transmitting to the human. We consume after the chicken comes to us and then it's remain in us. The main impact is that to source a medicine it takes a lot of time, and this antibiotics and AMR, antimicrobial resistance, this evolution of pathogens causing these all medicine ineffective. Are you getting the how we do lot of research and it takes a lot of time to come up with the new medicine, but due to this evolution, what is the evolution of these pathogens and bacteria that result into the antimicrobial resistance? What is the concept? It is concept like the bacteria and this pathogen becomes so strong due to the due to the misuse, continuous use, when there is no need, that they become so stronger, they face those medicines, antibiotics. Just take the single example again that I gave, that there is a thief and police catch them and slap 2 times, and he answered that yes, this was the place where I have put all my stolen things. Okay, so but the police become so much habitual that even he is not doing any he is not involved in such activity, such criminal activity. But what police is doing, to police regularly ask to come this thief, this person who was once found, and they are slapping 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. So he became that much used to this slapping that when he will actually again go and steal, do such crime, so he will be habitual that even after 10, 20, 50 slap, he will not tell anything. Means he has evolved to, he don't have that fear. The same is happening and occurring with these pathogens and bacteria as well. So what is in this paragraph? It has brought the what is need to, what are the steps that is needed to be taken or the way forward. Rational prescription of antibiotics. The first thing. Second thing is that to curb the use in the animal husbandry, promotion of the growth of animals and the plants, that should be prevented, prohibited. And the third thing is that the patient, they are become impatient. उन्हें काफी जल्दी क्योर चाहिए. They don't want to wait for 3-4 days to get cured. उन्हें आज दवा खाना है, कल ठीक होना है. So this thing should be this thing should be counseled by the this doctors as well, and government regulations should be enhanced. So this is, you should know all this thing. This editorial is not relevant with respect to the cricket match. UPSC is not that much interested with the cricket match. This next, this is particularly again relevant for the GS paper 2 governance, particularly the education sector, and this is particularly this article. This is here talking about the examination pattern. Particularly, you see everywhere, even the UPSC. They are asking the factual things, conceptual things. Despite all this thing, this is just for the, you have to memorize, you have to rote learning. That is the that is being promoted by the education system in India. Here the fact is given that how many particularly university and the students are there, and still we are not able to produce that much skills that is needed to be employed. And here it is talking about the secrecy and standardization of these examination boards, different boards, all also creating the cause for the scandals that we have found in the audits. Transparency is lacking. Main thing is that transparency, because they have made their examination system that so secret, they are not awareing others. So here it has suggesting that what is needed, what should be the purpose of this examination system pattern, and also how the education system overall should be aimed or goal. It should be like it should be the application part that should be the main focus area, and also it should be the creation of knowledge and critical thinking. That is important. This is talking about how this teachers and other mechanism is so much that they are just uh, they are resulting into the coaching market for the competitive examination and skilling, because the employers don't believe in the academic institutional certificates. They disregard what is your certificates, and they don't care, they take separate examination, and that's why the coaching market has flourished. The one thing that is this paragraph is talking, that already this education system we have guidelines, but what is the lacking is the scrutiny, absence of regular and effective oversight. That is the lacking. So you can use this under the suggestion. In the last paragraph, that is suggestion that what should be needed. Particularly, it is talking that there should be the external audit, particularly with the assessment system of university and school, and grading of examination board in the terms of transparency, reliability, and consistency. This is the suggestion that is you can use in your whenever the questions comes on the issue with the education system in India. All this can be used. This article is a bit critical to the government and state. That is not that much useful, relevant for us. But some of the point, if the critical examination or critical analysis of the question comes, you can come with the particularly how the government is misusing its power, and also this is talking about the not just that there is the ideological opposition, means it is talking about the there is flaw in opposition party and those institution and other civil society opposing the government. They are not doing it on some substantial ground. They have also flaw, and they are doing just for the opposition for the opposition sake, not for the on ideological basis. So, and even they are questioning the legitimacy of government and particularly the prime minister. Here, effect of the anti-defection law is being discussed. You must be knowing what is the anti-defection law. This is the political topic from the political science. This is very interesting topic, but we don't have the time to discuss it in an elaborate manner. But we will discuss. But here it is talking about the anti-defection law is also resulting into the uh, malfunctioning of the internal democracy of the party. For example, under the anti-defection law, if you have to follow the party line, there is the whip, one term that comes. Whip will give you guideline, and you have to follow. So if it is like the president or the head of the party who will direct, and everyone have to follow. So there should be the freedom. Anti-defection law should be only to the curb if the particular legislature is changing from one party to the other party, but it shouldn't be like the you are curbing the thought, you are curbing the opinion. So this anti-defection law is curbing the opinion as well. So there is suggestion that this anti-defection law should be applied in the critical bills and critical decision making. There should be given there's the scope should be given to legislature to give a different opinions than the party leadership. So this is talking about the internal democracy should be strengthened, and in the last, it is talking about the role of media. So, and it is concluding with there is need to all the citizenship with the like-minded thought, and even they are if across the ideology divide, they should come together, and they should bring some and constructive opposition so that they can save the political institution and our democratic framework. Such thing is like that. This has been concluded. Here we will conclude our session, and yes, yeah, we will conclude, and thank you for joining the session. All the best. We will meet again tomorrow.